The purpose of this series of videos is to introduce you to a better understanding of the differences between family businesses and non-family businesses. And the best way to do that is to visit or revisit this Venn diagram. There is nowhere on the world that you will go and have this conversation that won't introduce you to something that looks like this. But the important thing to consider is that this is very complex, or more complex than it initially may seem. But the other thing to consider is that each of these systems is in flux. It's very much a dynamic system. As the family evolves into a family of families, as the owners transition across generation, and as the assets that the managers manage becomes increasingly diverse and complex. Let's swing back. Here, the family in the early days was mum and dad, or the founders, who have then evolved into bringing or introducing their siblings into, or their offspring into the business. So they then create their own families. So this one's moving. The owners. Think about this owner system quite carefully, because there is ownership heterogeneity. And what I mean by that is that some of the people who are owners will be there for psychological ownership. Others will be there purely for their economic dividend. The utility they receive from this business is purely financial. So you have on a continuum at one end psychological ownership, at the other end purely economic. So it's important to understand what type of owners we have and how is that evolving. Similarly, as I said there before, rather than talking about the business, we're talking about better understanding what it is that we are managing or responsible for managing on behalf of the owners. Some of those managers will be management. I'll get to that a little bit later. But start to think right from the get-go, right from the outset, to understand the challenges of survival in this complex domain, better understand this Venn diagram.